live! Whoa, wrong one! We live! Welcome to Bonfire's YouTube. Welcome to another late night bonfire. We got the one and only Disneyland.
Hello, everybody.
Noah, how are you doing, my friend? Glad to have you back.
I'm all right. Yeah. I mean, everything is starting now. It is the busy season officially. So we've just been go. And this week coming up is no different. So it is what it is.
It really is like officially Halloween, I feel, this weekend.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
everything's kicking off. I wanted to go over today some of the haunts that you've done and just conversate because, like, we've seen the playing field now, at least theme park haunt wise. We'll talk a little bit about outside theme park haunt too, but that's what I want to pick your brain and get your opinions on stuff today, Noah.
Yeah.
Do you have any content or just anything coming down the line that people should expect from you?
Yeah, YouTube. I'm gonna have a YouTube video up probably tomorrow for Scary Farm. I've been lagging on that one. I was just so busy all weekend doing a bunch of stuff that I've had no time to edit. But a Scary Farm video should be coming out. A Castle Dark video should be coming out. And then just reels and stuff like that I'm going to be doing of smaller haunts and other things that are happening that aren't as big. But yeah, lots of stuff coming.
Do you kind of feel like posting Halloween Horror Nights or Disneyland Halloween is just so old news? Do you feel that way? Like, I'm talking about reels.
Yes.
And
yeah.
not even October.
I feel that way especially for Disneyland. I don't know necessarily about HHN. Like, I feel like people are still watching HHN because there's always something different going on there. But Disneyland for sure is one of those ones that's like, I just think people are over it. They're just like, we've seen it. It's been here for a whole like month already.
Dr. Doof again.
More.
80s, the Fab Five outfits.
Same stuff.
Same old fireworks.
Same tired fireworks.
Just like on my
end, same foods.
Yeah, I'm sitting on a ton of like Halloween Horror Night content, and I haven't posted it because I feel like, why post it all like a week or two ago when we're not even in October? You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I was like, I'll just wait to kind of the end of September, and I'll start posting a lot more Halloween again. Because I don't know. It's I always fight that battle because Disneyland starts so early now with Halloween that like people are you over Halloween? And it's not even October.
I know.
Oh, content. Disney Golf Shark fired up. There's a chill in the air here in Mexico. Fall has finally here. Thanks for all the haunt coverage living through you since we can't make it out there. How do you feel about this weather? It's been kind of cold, Noah.
It's been getting cold, but I love it. I mean, it's been so hot. Like, we had that heat wave not too long ago. That was just brutal. And so now that it's finally like calming down, it's nice. Nice. I'm not gonna lie.
I love the weather that we're currently in, where it's like kind of warm in the day, still wear a sweater, cold at night. 2 weeks ago it was like 92 degrees at night. Like, hell.
Yep.
This ain't Palm Springs.
Yep.
All right. I want to start off, Noah, with Knott Scary Farm. That's the one we're going to start off with. Me and Danny talked a lot about Knott Scary Farm, but I feel you did way more than what we did, I feel like. So give us your opening day overall review, and then we'll go into details in a little bit. But like your overall, how do you feel about the event as a whole?
I love it. I think that this year they have fully stocked every single maze with scare actors. There's just lots to do, I feel like. Outside of that, Carnival has a brand new vibe. So just hanging out in there is really cool. Getting to see a bunch of new monsters in ghost towns, also very cool.
I know.
The lantern activations are they're okay. I feel like there are a lot less this year, but they've done some like significant changes. Like there was that spider one that now has like a whole animatronic that pops out of it. It's so cool.
Dude, I saw that the very next day. I was like, what the hell? I wish we did that.
It's so cool.
And that's the one by Grizzly or Timber.
By the Grimoire maze. It's right there.
Yeah, Grimoire. That's what it's called.
By the entrance to Grimoire.
Oh, I got a video. Our Knott's Adventure. Hold on. Right here.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. That's amazing.
It's so cool.
I just have to ask this. How does Knott's Berry Farm not do a reel on that? A TikTok on that? Hey, come buy our lantern. Look what you could do. You know what I mean?
Right?
Terrible marketing. Knott's in the terrible marketing is just insane.
Hey, they might pull something out. But
all right, but keep going.
Cool. That one shocked me. I loved the event. I thought the 2 new mazes were very good, especially Widows. Widows creeped me the hell out. But overall, everything was great. I didn't try any foods, but I went with Demi, who was a first timer to Knott's Scary Farm ever. It was her first time ever doing Knott's Scary Farm. So I felt like rather than trying foods and hanging out in scare zones for a long time, I was like, we're getting you through everything tonight. You have to see this event. Dang. And she loved it. She was like, this is scarier than Horror Nights. She was like, this is so cool.
I saw fear in her eye that day.
Yeah, for real.
I think, like, you never been a Scary Farm. If this is your first year, you're kind of like, whoa.
Yes.
I know it sounds weird, but Fright Fest calls itself extreme. Knott's was extreme. Like, I really feel Knott's was the extreme one this year. I almost feel like they're the extreme one overall, like, out of everything. It's the scare zones. For me, Noah, this was like the most staffed scare zones I ever seen in my life at Scary Farm.
Yeah.
And it was cool.
They did good with staffing.
It was cool because, like how you're saying, they added new monsters everywhere. And I really felt that way for Carnival. Because Carnival is always the bottom of my list, scare zone. But on opening day, for me, Carnival was like one of the top. It was fun.
Yeah, I agree.
And, dude, the clowns in there were just like out of this world. Like everything was so over the top in there.
The clowns in there this year are so crazy. The entire vibe of the clowns have changed. They're not the same clowns you're used to.
No, not at all.
I will say there are you're walking through there and you just feel like, where am I? Like, what is going? There's like a clown that's like a referee. Then there's a clown on roller skates. Then there's a clown that's like a drag queen. Then there's a dog clown.
A baby clown. A camera clown. There's like a clown for everything. You get a clown.
Disco clown. I was just like, what is happening? But I kind of love this. It was like the vibe was so good.
Do you feel like since so much extra and energy came into Carnival, do you think the one that felt the wrath of it was Goring 20s? Like it just didn't hit?
Yes.
Because that's how it was.
Yes.
So I was kind of like, something's off in here. And I think it's like those main mob bosses that were in Goring 20s, they weren't present at all. I don't know if it was an opening day thing or the weekend. I don't know. But
I will say Goring 20s lost a lot of talent to Carnival. A lot of the talent went over to Carnival, and Goring 20 has a lot of brand new talent. So I think that they're starting to kind of just figure out what the vibe is there. But from what I've seen, by the end of the week, like Sunday night, maybe even Saturday night, they had taken away the band inside of Goring 20s and took away the whole tiger crawl. None of that was happening. Like Knott's, I think, like banned it. I saw a couple of people talking about like
What?
tagging Knotts and asking him to bring him back. But the vibe in there, when they were dancing up top, they were just dancing to the normal, like, Goring 20 soundtrack that's playing in there. It was very, very weird.
I don't want to jump to conclusions, but if the band is gone and the whole Goring 20 crawl is done,
it's gone. That's for sure gone.
Goring 20's goodbye. Like, I'm not saying you suck to the scare actors. I'm saying you suck to Knotts. Like, why would you? Mm-hmm. You're just like cutting the fun out of that whole scare zone. What?
Yep.
Dude, I've seen humongous crowds doing the Goring 20 crawl, you know what I mean? And the music,
it's like so fun.
It's too connected. The band is too connected to everything. Oh my god.
Yes.
Imagine they're like, oh, and you don't die at the top of the hour anymore either.
I don't know. They might not be doing that. I'm going back on Thursday night, and I'm going to really kind of pay attention to zones that night.
I never saw them see what they're doing. Like, you know how they kind of die at the top of the hour? I never saw them do it.
Yeah.
Maybe I missed it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in there.
Man, that's crazy to hear, dude. So it's not... Dude, if you lose the band, that's a terrible decision. Oh, my gosh.
And I heard it was a brand new band, too. Like, I heard that they had gotten a brand new band for this year, and, like, they lasted 2 days, 3 days, and then they were gone. They were gone Sunday. They were not there Sunday.
I know this is crazy, but just hire 90s Rock Show and just let them go hard up there.
Hey, you know who else can do it? Thomasina can do it up there.
Hey, bring Thomasina. Dude. Hey, I know
just let her do her thing.
It wouldn't make sense, but who cares? We're at the point where if the band quit or they let it, you know what I mean? They let them go. Just do something crazy. Do something crazy. Did you watch The Hanging?
Yes.
So, be honest. What terrible? You enjoyed it? It was funny? It wasn't funny? Give us the tea. I want to hear. 'Cause I didn't see it. I'm gonna see it this week though, and I'm guessing things are gonna change. But
yeah.
What are your thoughts? Your thoughts on all that?
Normally, hanging shows make me laugh out loud at some of the things they're doing, and this one I maybe laughed out loud once or twice. I just felt they were trying to poke a lot of fun at their merger with Six Flags. There was a lot of Six Flags jokes in there. There was a lot of Disney jokes. They were trying to target Disney, but the jokes were not landing correctly. And then there was just a lot of AI stuff. A lot of... It was, and who they hang, I don't want to give any spoilers, but who they hang, I was shocked. I was like, was that big of an impact this year that we're hanging this person? Like, I guess. Like, I was expecting full on Taylor Swift to be hung. It was called the Errors Tour, the Hanging Errors Tour, and she was not the one that was being hung. It was very, very weird.
Wow. Would you do it again?
I don't know if I would. I don't think I would do it again unless somebody came to me and said that they changed a bunch of the show around and changed some of the jokes. I will say, though, the actors, amazing. The lighting and the special effects, amazing. It was just the story writing that was like, these jokes aren't landing. Like, this is, we need something new here.
I don't get why you would make fun of Six Flags merger. That's, to me, it's kind of like...
It was a lot of jokes about that and a lot of Disney. Like, I swear to you, like, half the show was Six Flags and Disney.
I just don't get why you would do that. Like, I don't know. I would just be like, why are you making fun of that? What?
It was very weird.
There's so many other things to make fun of. Making fun of the merger, what? That's like, I don't know. That's just weird.
I mean, the merger, there were some jokes with the merger that I thought were funny. Like, there were some things that I was like, okay, that's good. But after the third, fourth, fifth, sixth jokes about the merger, you're like, we get it. You merged. Or like, they brought out Disney adults at one point. And I was like, okay, this is funny. They're making fun of Disney. They're making fun of Disney adults. They're throwing these people in the trash. This is funny. And then they bring out the princesses. And then they bring out Deadpool and Wolverine. And I'm like, okay, now the Disney's not funny anymore. This is your fourth joke about Disney, and it's just not hitting. Like, it was funny the first time, But as soon as you brought Murphy out again, like
Oh
we saw him last year in the show.
That's what's up. Wasn't there a joke about Murphy? Can you give us
There was
the
like
spoiler?
3 Murphy jokes in there.
What?
There was like 3 in there.
Oh my
He
god!
like popped up and
Hey,
yeah.
you want a real joke? Just show up on a Tuesday. You get the worst show ever right now.
Yeah. It was just like
Fantasmic is so sad right now. It's so sad.
yeah. I don't know. The Hanging, I won't do it again unless it drastically changes.
Hey,
I wouldn't waste
or Chucky.
your time there.
Where are you gonna go, Chucky or the?
You know what?
I'm
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give it a Chucky just because their seats have a back on them that you can kind of like lay down in and fall asleep.
Yeah, and that's what I would go to Chucky. Be like, I'm not. Yeah, but I have to see The Hanging. So I don't want to judge it. Maybe I like it.
Yes,
I
would watch it, but I mean, if you're going and you have very limited time, or if you're going on a Friday, Saturday, and it's super busy, don't waste your time there. Do everything you want to do maze-wise.
I want to ask: was it that you were just like you were offended, or these jokes just sucked? Like, I want to ask that.
No, I wasn't offended at all. There were no jokes that I was like, oh. Normally, I don't get like. I don't get like that with jokes. Like, I think things are funny. I think when people are like a little politically incorrect or, make fun of certain things, I think that's funny because, I mean, we're all supposed to just laugh at ourselves. Like, I think everybody should be made fun of and everything should just be fun and nobody should take things too seriously. But there were never any jokes like that. These jokes were just very like, I'm confused. Like,
I felt last
year
supposed to be
funny?
Last year they were kind of, on that side. Which is The Hanging.
Yeah, last year they kind of were.
That's what The Hanging is.
Yeah. But this year, no, none of that. That all went away. I think they had maybe like one small little political joke in there at one point. But it was nothing big. It was like nothing major. So I would say they strayed away from all that this year.
Yes, not having Music, Monsters, and Mayhem. A travesty. Especially in place of an empty theater because no one is sitting and watching old Elvira clips. Damn!
I'll tell you right now, Margo.
Or not to mention not holding back. I haven't been in there. I've seen videos of it, but
that Elvira experience is one of the worst things that has ever come to Scary Farm.
Wow. And you're an Elvira fan.
And I'm an Elvira fan.
Huge Elvira fan.
Like, such a waste of space. They could have totally done this in, like,
Spurs.
City Hall. City Hall.
Oh, my God. City Hall would have been, yeah.
Had a little museum in there in City Hall. We didn't need the macabre mobile. We didn't need the big pieces. A couple costume pieces and some of the smaller stuff that they have would have been good enough. But I walked in there and I was so confused. There were people like sitting in the theater seats watching this host that's on stage. There's a guy hosting on stage. I walked in and he's like, "Hey everyone, welcome to the Elvira experience." And I'm like, are these people like sitting down because they don't know that Elvira's like not gonna come out right now? Like, what are they waiting for?
I personally think people think it's an Elvira show. Like she's gonna perform.
They might. They might, but it's very weird because some of these exhibits that you can walk around and look at are on stage. So you get to walk on stage and look at the macabre mobiles on stage. You get to see some of the costumes are on stage. So it's weird that like there's people walking on stage, yet there's a host, yet they're playing clips behind you as you're walking on stage. It's just I was all thrown over the place. Like, I was very confused. It just was unnecessary. We needed a stage show in there. We needed big musical numbers. We needed something funny. We needed something a little bit dirty. We needed something haunt, and we didn't get it. We got this museum.
I don't know if it was you that said it, but Music, Monsters, and Mayhem coming back and then hosted by the Blvd brothers. That would have been
easily
just super dominant. That would have been great entertainment at Scary Farm.
It would have been. I mean, and even if they didn't want to do something big like that, get a couple of the Blvd brother Dragula stars and just bring them there. Have them do a couple musical numbers. have them dress up all creepy. I don't know if you've ever seen the show, or
I
any of you have ever seen the show.
I
They do some crazy stuff.
Well, I was gonna say I wish I recorded the 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 drag show that they do, but like the horror version at Midsummer.
Yeah.
Dude, the stuff like they are like performers to the max.
Yes.
And
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was there with my sister, and I was just like, what the heck? Like, this is like a Broadway, especially when they did
Yeah.
the Haunted Mansion ending. Did you watch that at Midsummer?
I didn't. I saw clips of it, but it looked good.
Dude, the Haunted Mansion. I wish I knew the name of that panel. I can't even remember anymore. But I was like, damn, if stuff like that came to Scary Farm, it would be a hit. Horror,
I think people would enjoy that.
drag, the whole concept of like it's like something. It's like a production. I don't know how else to explain.
And just like dirty, and not dirty in a sexual way.
No,
but
like dirty
in like
horror.
we're getting down and dirty. There's blood all over me, and there's like just things like that is what we want.
That's what we want. I feel if the Boulet brothers are the perfect, or just that Boulet brothers circle that like how you're saying, like the people that have worked with them, they all
the queens that were on the show.
Yeah, they all get it.
Yep.
Oh man, but no, we got YouTube clips from the past.
We got YouTube clips.
39 months. Brian Sevilla, thank you for 39 months, Brian. Noah Mondo, and how many Elvira shirts do they have? And they don't have shirts for some of the houses. Last year's shirts were better. Fire it up. So I've seen Elvira's section at the Legacy store, and I was like, damn, she got the whole left side. It's pretty wild. I don't know.
Not to mention a brand new pin that drops every week for Elvira.
Damn, they're going all out. Wow, yeah. I had no idea. If you had to take a guess, is the Elvira merch selling like that or not really?
I think it's really only selling on the nights that she's there, because you have to purchase something in order to meet her. You have to make like a $50 or $60 merch purchase, and you have to pay to meet her. So there's like two fees that you have to pay, one for merch and one for the ticket to meet her. But when I went on opening night, she was there, and that line was pretty big. There were a lot of people there, but I think those are like the diehards. Those are the people who have been like riding with Elvira this whole time, and just, I don't think the normal people are buying that. I think the normal people that are going to Scary Farm just want Scary Farm shirts. They want shirts that have maybe their favorite maze on the front of it, or maybe an icon of Scary Farm on it. But they're not looking for like Elvira, unless you're a really, really, really big Elvira fan, or somebody who has like that small, like, oh, well, it was cool to see Elvira here all her years. Maybe we'll buy something from it. Yeah.
Man, it's a lot of money just to meet her kind of thing, but I get it.
It's a lot.
I get it. It's Elvira. Anytime the word Elvira, it's expensive, whatever it is. Like, there's nothing. Like, I bet you even the pins are expensive. Like, I don't know how much they cost, but I bet you they're even more. They're more expensive than the regular Knott's pins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me see. Only the shirt has sold out was the one writing Ghost Rider, and it was restocked a week later. Her merch isn't moving like Knott's wants it. I want, for me, I feel like since Knott's brings their mazes return, like they bring them for like 3 to 5 years ish, they should always change up the design. Like Origins should get a year 1 design, year 2 design, year 3 design. Same thing with like the Mesmers, the Waxworks. Like, they deserve to keep getting changed. Instead of writing with the same old freaking symbol. Like, I hate when they do that.
I think
perfect example.
What they should really focus on, I think, is the mazes that are not returning. I think they should have made some really cool waxwork stuff, some really cool bloodline stuff, and just take elements of things that people loved throughout all the years that they had the maze, and put that into some piece of merch. You know, like Waxworks, maybe it would have been cool to have one that was, you know, talking about pushing the buttons throughout the wax museum, or something like
Yeah.
something small that people who have been like they'll get it, they'll understand it because it's been there for however many years. But like just something that people are going to enjoy, that they've loved about the overall maze. I think that would have been cool to see, rather than, you know, merch that like nobody really cares about, or I'm all the squishmallows and
Yeah, what's up
all
with
the
that? Is
stuffed
there,
animals.
did Knott's Scary Farm fans just become embodied into loving Squishmallows? Because the Legacy
I
store should be called
guess
Squishmallow store. It's not. The Legacy
it
store
really
was
should.
lacking, bro. Lacking, man. I don't know what it
It
is.
really should.
Cordy's Corner is where
I,
it's at. That's the real Legacy store.
yes. Yes. I agree with that. Yeah,
Do
I
you
don't
buy
know.
Squishmallows like that? Are you excited for?
Never. I've never bought one in my life. Never.
When I think of a Scary Farm fan, I don't think of like Squishmallows. You know what I mean?
Nobody's buying Squishmallows.
They must have got
We
like
want
a cheap
shirts.
ass deal or something. You know?
Shirts, pins are cool. If you make them really
Hey,
cool, they look cool.
if they were smart, they would have had a Steve shirt, like Steve holding a lantern. You right? Who's not buying the diehard Scary Farm fan? Who wouldn't buy the Steve shirt, the lantern interaction? Stupid. Not with missing out. I don't know what else to say.
There's just, I'm thinking of so much stuff they could do. They could do a Steve shirt. They can do a Devil's Elixir shirt. Why
Yeah.
don't they do like a Devil's Elixir like mug that has like the green, you know, it looks like, I mean, there's so much they could have done, and they did Squishmallows for some reason. I
Stupid.
don't know.
Yeah. Or what's it called? Um, gosh, I'm trying to think of one. Hmm. I have to really think, but I know there's like five I could really come up with that like people would
Yeah,
want
there's
that shirt.
that would, people would want that. Yeah.
I feel like Sarah Marshall needs her own line. You know, like I always
Yes.
Darth Vader needed his own line at Disneyland. Sarah Marshall's that at Knott's. Like she just needs her own line of
Yes.
thick ass Sarah Marshall shirts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
A lot of those plushes are way cheaper on Amazon too. Exact same plush as the Legacy store has. Wow, they're not even like Knott's specific. They're just cheap Amazon stuff. I don't know. Maybe Knott's is hitting up the what is it called? Alibaba, or just
Probably.
yeah, they're just buying them for super.
Timu, they're on Timu.
They're like just sell them. Like we buy them for 5, sell them for 20. All right, Noah. Let's get to the down and dirty. Talk to
Yeah.
me about your experience with Widows. We're going to talk about Widows and Eight Fingers 9. What was your experience with Widows? What'd you think about the facade, the length of the maze, all the detail? Like, give us your feeling. How did it come through to life with you?
Widows was truly terrifying. I hate spiders, and the entire time my palms were sweating. I was trying, and that was like our second maze we walked through of the night. We walked through Bloodline first because Widows was closed. So then we went through Widows next, and I was trying to hold on to Demi the whole time because we were both scared. But I feel like in Widows, it's done on purpose, that it like makes it feel like it's like you're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So there were points of the maze where I couldn't even stand next to her, and I had to walk through things by myself. And I was terrified. There was points where there were spiders jumping out at me. There was like a fuzzy wall at some point. I like touched something fuzzy, and I was just like all thrown off. The wall moving at one point. I was just, and you, not to mention, you feel like you're going through spider webs the entire time. I'm like peeling spider webs off of my face. So creepy. They did such a good job designing that thing. I hope that it only gets better as the season goes on, because that maze was one of the best I've seen in a long time, scenic wise, painting wise, lighting wise. Just crazy. Just crazy. I was so scared.
What'd you think about the finale with the big spider?
I thought it was very cool. When we went through the first time, it wasn't lit up, so we couldn't really see what was happening. I could
Oh
kind
my
of see
god,
a
you're
little
telling
outline
me
of what was happening.
they added more lights?
There are more lights.
Oh
Yes.
my
The
god.
next
Dude,
time I went through, there were lights all over it.
Noah, on opening
Yeah.
day, I couldn't see shit. Like, I'm not even. I
No.
literally was like, there was so much dark spots. I was like, I can't see. And at one point, I walked almost through like where the worker backstage, and I was like, oh, damn. And the guy was like, you got to go that way. I was like, dude, I'm sorry. Because you're right.
Yeah.
There's lots of times where you're like, these walls are kind of collapsing on you in Widows.
Like
And,
you feel like you're just getting like, I was like, oh, this is crazy.
for me, Widows was outstanding.
Yeah.
It was just the best way I could describe it is I looked at 1,000 things just visually throughout the maze, and there was 10,000 more things that I need to look at because there's just not enough time on one walkthrough.
Yes. Yep.
Widow's repeatability is like a lot. Like you want to do it again.
A ton.
Yeah. And the one thing I liked about Widows was the variety of scares and I don't want to say so much the story, but the scare actor and like the prosthetics, the masks.
Yeah.
At some point, I don't know if you saw them, but there was like stilt walker spiders.
Yeah, like on a
I was
saw
like,
that.
what? This is amazing.
Yeah. It was very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah, I liked Widows. To me was just like, wow, this is Knott's Berry Farm flexing their creativity right here. Like I felt
100%.
I felt it
And
all.
and Knott's Berry Farm using the best of the best in the industry when it comes to painting things and decorating things and making things look old and dirty and cobwebby, and it just, everything looked so amazing. Everything was like, there was not one spot in the maze where I was like, oh look, black walls. When there were black walls, the black walls were done on purpose because they were fuzzy. They wanted you to not be able to see where you were going, so you had to feel for that fuzzy wall, and then you get all weirded out that there's a spider in front of you. It was just done so brilliantly. The team who worked on that was just so good.
I walked out of there saying to Danny, like, I think that might be the best maze of the year, just because
Yeah.
it was so long too. So
Yes.
imagine how much work went into that, because it's like a 7-8 minute walkthrough. I was just, it was incredible. And then to see the big spider too. Imagine when they pitched that idea, like, okay, so we're going to do a big ass spider. Is it going to be animatronic? No, I want it to be a person. What?
A person. It's just insane.
Yeah, it's insane. It's
so good.
Kate Blair dropping a super chat. New Fast and Furious track added tonight. Send me a picture. Tag me on Instagram at the Cali Bay, or post it and tag me on Twitter at the Cali Bay. I want to see it. Kate. Thank you for the super chat. For Widows, one thing that like, I don't feel like Widows is a starter maze. Like, you know, you're bringing somebody to Scary Farm for the first time. Don't start at Widows, right? Do you feel that?
No. Like, you got to feel your friend out first for the first time. You got to see, like, take them to like Bloodline and do that first. And if they can handle that, then like you work your way up there. But you don't want to start at Widows.
What's like the starter pack? I'm a scaredy cat. My first time at Scary Farm. Where do I go, Noah? What maze?
If it was me and you were a scaredy cat and I was bringing you for your first time, I would walk you through the Gauntlet first, walk you through Forsaken Lake, and back down to Bloodline. I would just like slowly start you in a scare zone so you can kind of get a feel for it before we go into a maze, and then I would take you into Bloodline. Bloodline to me was the worst this year.
Wow.
And
more than Mesmer?
More than Mesmer.
Wow. Okay, we'll talk
Uh,
about Mesmer in a little bit.
I,
Because you did Mesmer?
I did Mesmer.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
Bloodline, I would say, was just the worst to me, but I couldn't tell you why. I just think that it's like the story's just weird
The
because it
reason
wasn't an actor problem.
no. Bloodline that maze was made for the guns, and it doesn't have it. And that whole
Correct.
aspect of storytelling's all missing. And they're just trying
Correct.
to Mickey Mouse it into something else, which it's not. So
Yes. Yes.
that's the finger to point at.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, for me, if I was to start somebody off at Scary Farm, I think Room 13's a good one. You know what I mean?
That's a good one too.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of scares, but it ain't too much. It's not too gory.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I would say Bloodline too. Bloodline's not like over the top. Because do you get this feeling that Widows and Eight Fingers 9, they just kind of took their creativity and the money that got dropped in these mazes to another level? Do you feel that way
Yes.
compared to like a
I
Orange,
feel that.
a Waxwork, even a Bloodline is right, very brand new not that long ago. Do you feel like
Yeah.
these mazes are on a different level of like money?
They are. I feel like well, especially I feel like that in Widows. Um but I do feel like that they're on another level, and I think it's probably because they're in the back and they can be worked on all year. They could be, worked on, which is good because the two mazes that are leaving this year are also in the back, which means
Ah,
we should be getting two amazing mazes
just
next year too, and that whole back area is just going to be fire. The whole thing.
unreal, dude. Buffet is worth twice its money next year.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Dude, next year Scary Farm's gonna be freaking insane.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.
Um, do you have any cons, any negatives for Widows? Something that you would like to see done better, or anything like that, or you just loved it?
I think I just loved it.
Okay.
I don't think there was anything that I saw first run through that I was like this needs to be better. This needs to, I mean, maybe the lighting situation, but they got that fixed. By the time I went through it again, it was fixed.
Gosh, yeah, because my first run through, I was like, I can't see nothing, like a lot of times.
Yeah.
Do you think general admission's okay to go with Scary Farm?
Depends.
Say Thursday, Friday, general admission.
General admission, no. General admission Thursday, Sunday, Friday, Saturday, you're going to want to get an express. If you want to do everything, you're going to want to get an express. If you don't mind waiting and only want to hit a couple mazes, then you don't need it. But I will say, if you want to hit the new mazes for sure, buffet's the way to go. Get a general admission and a buffet. Get that early entry as early as you can for the buffet, so you have time to go in and do the mazes early before everybody else.
Okay. Kate Blair, I'll check up on Fast and Furious. I don't know when. I might be back this week. We'll see. All right, let's move on. Eight Fingers 9, the Boogeyman. It was. I feel like the hype all went to Widows, pre Scary Farm, but I kind of want to say the hype kind of went to the Boogeyman.
Yeah,
A lot of people leaving like, "Hey, Boogeyman's my favorite." What? What the hell
people
happened?
really liked it. Yeah,
How do you
people
feel?
really
How do you
liked it.
feel?
It was good. I honestly wasn't like blown away by it. Story was a little confusing. It got very demonic at some points.
Extremely demonic.
So I was like a little confused
Danny literally was like, "This is getting too freaking weird, Mondo. Like, there's goats over here. There's like freaking witches and rituals going on."
Yeah, it got very demonic.
Yeah,
exactly. I was like, I don't understand the boogeyman aspect of this, but I'll run with it.
I'm still trying to understand
like
the floating girl in the beginning when you first walk in. I'm like, what the hell's this? What in the storyline is going on here?
I'm just as lost as you are, and then I guess you get eaten by the boogeyman at some point.
The boogeyman, to me, I love the maze. I thought it was it's very gory. Very gory.
Yeah.
Like I had
Yeah.
people walking up to me with like no fingers, like the boogeyman ate my
Yeah,
right.
no, like right in your face too. I was like, I see you have one finger.
I was like, yeah, they did that to me too. They're like, look at this, he ate my finger. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh gosh. Um,
I felt like the beginning portion of the maze was very repetitive, is what I felt like. Like there was that beginning portion and you're walking through like the house and like everything looks the same. There's a bed, there's the same walls. You go into the next room, there's a bed, there's walls. You go into the next room, there's 3 beds and some walls. It was like, okay. And then like you move out of that area and then you're in a forest. And then you're like, okay, cool, change of scenery. You go into the next room and it's a forest. And you're like, all right, we're still in the forest. You go to the next room and it's a forest. I was like, it was very repetitive the whole time.
you know what it reminds me of? Exorcist. That's what it reminds
A
me
little bit. A
of.
little bit. I mean, I didn't hate it. Definitely not the worst by far. Um, but I was confused. And I feel like in Widows, they did a really good job immersing you into the entire world. Like I feel like there wasn't a point where I was looking up and I was like, well, that's the ceiling of the building. Like that's a light from the building. Like that never happened to me in Widows, but it happened to me a couple times in Eight Fingers 9, which kind of pulls you out of the whole storyline of everything. Like I was like looking, there were points where I was like looking up and I was like, I get that you can't make it look like a sky, but like something should have been here to like hide that and pull you into the story. Like I shouldn't be wandering off and looking at an exit sign that's like hanging way above, and
You know
I
what
don't
I'll
know.
say? Eight Fingers 9, there's not a clear path of where the eye should go. Does that make sense?
Correct.
Yeah, because I caught myself too when I went through it the first time, like filming. I'm like, I don't know where the hell to look right now. Like,
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to look at.
we're walking this way.
Yeah.
um,
I totally get you.
I feel like Eight Fingers 9. I loved it. I have no complaints about it other than I wish the boogeyman would be more dominant of a scare. Because the way that they're kind of having him scare, it's like you're like, what? What
Yeah.
was that? I want to look at this boogeyman. I want to see what he looks like. You know what I mean?
And for me, I feel like he was always just there. Like you walked in the room and he was already standing there. Like where are you supposed to be hiding or something? Like why are you just standing here? And then you walk by and he would scare you. I wanted it to be more like you're walking in a room and there's somebody sitting there like, oh my God, he's coming for me. And then like all of a sudden he comes running out of somewhere. Like
This
that's
sounds
what I
weird.
wanted.
This sounds weird. So my biggest complaint of Widows was that it was too damn dark. I feel like the darkness works way better with Eight Fingers 9. You know what I mean?
100%.
I know what
That's
you're
what
saying.
needed to happen.
You're like, I don't know where to look. Boom, boogeyman. It's like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yep, exactly. It needed to be a lot darker in there.
I liked it. I thought Boogeyman was one of my favorite mazes of the day. Um, it was definitely like I want to do that again. That's how I
Yeah.
felt. Like I would like when I walked out of Widows, I was mind blown. I was like, wow, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
When I walked out of Boogeyman, it was like that was so cool. Like it was super cool.
Yeah, I feel that. I can relate to that.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about the other mazes that are back there. Waxworks and Bloodline. I saw so many extra people that I've never seen, different masks and scares, and people in different areas that I normally never see them. These were like some of the best staff mazes ever for Waxworks
100%.
and Bloodline. I was like, this is awesome. This is what
Yes.
it's supposed to have felt like all the time.
Yes.
But not the trend that I've noticed, Noah. Whenever it's your last year, Scary Farm goes all out for that maze. They're like staff the hell out of it every time.
Yeah.
Because Waxworks and Bloodline are out of here. They're gone.
Yep.
How do you feel about Waxworks and Bloodline? How did it play out for you?
I agree. No, I fully agree with you. I think they were fully staffed. and they were good. They were good. There were a lot of good scares. You know, nothing changed in any of the mazes that were returning. Not that I've noticed, at least. There was no noticeable changes where you're like, oh, well, that's different. Everything was the same, but things were fully staffed. Things were working. Things, you know, were doing what they were supposed to do. I just want to see if that momentum keeps up as the weeks go on, or
Yeah.
if that's like an opening weekend kind of thing, and now it's done.
The Chilling Chambers lost the keeper guy.
Yes.
Does that taint? I didn't do Chilling Chambers. That's just what I've heard. Does that taint it for you? How do you feel about that?
No, I don't think it changes it in any way, but there's like no story now. Nobody's talking. You're
It's just
walking through
made.
these things and you're just like confused. Like, why am I going from this to an asylum to a fun house to a. There's no like somebody there that's like, now you're going to enter, you know, Uncle Bobo's fun house, or you're going to enter, you know, the asylum or whatever. There's not any character there doing that. There's nothing on the screens. The screens were actually just K's. And I think at one point there was a nurse walking up on one of the screens or something like that. But no narration. Every ounce of the keeper is gone.
You only have Sarah Marshall to take his place. What the hell, dude? Oh my god! Like it's just ridiculous.
or maybe the conductor.
Yeah, he's a
throw
good
throw lantern interactions in that maze. Throw
Oh
lantern
my
interactions.
gosh!
So
Imagine
you could be like the conductor.
dude. That would be sick. The lantern changes the screen too throughout. Oh man, they should have done one maze that's like all about lanterns. And Chilling Chambers could have been a cool option for that. Damn, that's crazy.
That would have been very cool for that.
Mesmer, how was that walkthrough for you? I don't even want to do it this year, Noah. Convince me to do it.
I honestly, that was not the worst for me. The worst for me was Bloodline. I will
they
say,
took away the girl that was violining on her arm.
no, they didn't. She was in there.
What? They brought her back?
Mondo, I had a fully staffed Mesmer. There
No,
were spiders in the room. There was supposed to be spiders. There was like
Was there
two people in that.
A person up top?
I don't know about that. I don't remember. There were two people in the room with the big clock that falls.
What?
There was two people in that hallway. There was the girl violining herself. They had the snake people in there.
Wow.
They had like 2 or 3 clowns in the floating room.
Wow. Dang.
Fully staffed, dude. It was crazy.
I haven't heard that since opening day. Honestly.
Fully staffed. I will tell you right now, when we got out of that maze, Demi was like, that was one of my favorites.
Wow, that's crazy. And that's what Scary Farm mazes, that's what they could do when they're fully staffed. They're badass. Like it's just
they're just so good. And then you can go through them again and there'd be nobody in there and you're like, that's a completely different experience.
What was the bottom two for you? Bottom two of the day.
Bottom two, I would probably say Bloodlines at the way bottom, and then Origins right above that.
Origins?
Yeah.
What? It's too many years.
But here's the thing.
Too many years.
I had amazing run-througs of Bloodline and Origins that night. They were both really good. The actors are really good. I just felt like some of the things fell short. And that's why they're at the bottom. It's not that they were bad. If somebody went through the first time, Demi went through the first time ever doing it, she was like blown away. If it was my first time going through, I would have been blown away too. Like
I got a perfect term for this.
At that level.
It's very oogie boogie.
It's very oogie boogie bash. Exactly.
It's very oogie boogie.
You go one time, your first time, you're blown away. You go any other time, and you're just kind of like, we're done. I'm done.
You know, the one maze I heard a lot of rave, and I didn't have a chance to do it. Cinema Slasher, dude. People were blown away.
Cinema Slasher was good, yeah.
Did you experience that? I heard there was changes. A lot of good changes happened in there.
Not many changes. There were just small changes with the actors. I think a lot of the actors were doing different things. The popcorn guy was back in there. Scared the hell out of me. I did not know the popcorn was going to move.
I know. I've seen him with through the
Yeah.
I,
There was some,
I
yeah,
love.
there was some really cool things.
Yeah, I gotta do Cinema Slasher. That was
Cinema Slasher was fun.
I was blown away last year opening day. We
Yeah.
got TTV Brian beat LA. He says, "I saw what happened. I guess there was some weird triple play action that happened. I don't know, man. Dodgers always struggle against the Padres. Really weird. But thank you for the super chat. Um, Scary Farm. Is this? Do you have a pass? Are you going to be going a lot? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I do. I have a pass. I'm gonna be going anytime that I have downtime. I mean, it's like right in my backyard pretty much. So that's the easiest haunt for me to get to. Um, and there's just lots to do there. Like you're not gonna get bored. Like it's kind of like going to Disneyland where you can go multiple times and there's always something new to do and experience and whatever. I'll be there on Thursday night actually, before we start our weekend of other haunts. Um, but just enjoying the night, hanging out, seeing, getting to hang in scare zones is really cool. Getting to see the monsters do what they do is always so much fun.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah.
Um, what about Disneyland? Disneyland Halloween. We are pretty much like a month and a half into this thing. I feel like there's a lot of Disneyland Halloween. They started the earliest out of anybody. How do you
Yeah.
feel about it this year? What do you think?
I'm over it. I'm over it. Uh,
It's not even October, Noah. Not even October.
if I didn't go back to Disneyland for Halloween, I'd be okay.
Yeah, I said this yesterday or on Speculation Sunday. I was like, I just want to go to Disneyland. Like, there is no Halloween Disneyland. It just it's irrelevant. Halloween at Disney is
Yes.
irrelevant. Uh,
Yeah.
Oogie Boogie Bash is irrelevant. I don't care what anybody says.
Disneyland needs to completely change up their vibe for Halloween next year because it's getting repetitive. It's getting old. People are just kind of like moseying on through, like, yeah, it's the same show. We got the same kind of foods. They're just going to be dyed black. We got,
Or they just try to make it spicy. That's their version of Halloween at Disneyland. Make it spicy.
100%. 100%. It's the same burger. We just threw a jalapeno on it. It's just, I feel like they need a complete vibe change. It needs to change. Something new needs to happen in order to keep people on their toes. I feel like Disney used to do that all the time. They used to be that place where you're like, oh, something new's going on. Now something different's happening. This year there's a completely new thing of foods to try. Whatever. I don't know. The
How
holidays there
I used to be
are
like,
not.
can't wait for that Oogie Boogie announcement. And I haven't felt that way for like 3 years. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
Somebody sent this to me and they went to Oogie Boogie and they got surveyed. And it says Nightmare Before Christmas stage show. And then it's 1 through 5, extremely interested or not interested at all. And then the second one was Hocus Pocus stage show. And I'm only assuming this is probably for Oogie Boogie. If it comes back, I guess they're going to maybe add it to that. Do you think these two shows could work at Disneyland or not Disneyland, but California Adventure Oogie Boogie? How do you feel about it?
They could work, but is that going to be enough to save Oogie Boogie Bash? That's the real question. Sure, we would love a Nightmare Before Christmas show, or we would love a Hocus Pocus show. I'd love to see that. But is that going to really draw people in? Like, are they going to now be like, oh, well, now that there's a Nightmare Before Christmas show, I'll pay the $200 to go to Oogie Boogie Bash?
$200.
Like, no, there's no way. That's not pulling people in. There's got to be a whole change of the event. Oogie Boogie's got to go. The name Oogie Boogie Bash got to go.
It's
Oogie Boogie
old.
as the host got to go. We got to get some fresh, something new in there. We got to get villains in there.
Have the Sanderson sisters host the event. You know what I mean? Just saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what it should be. Oogie Boogie is old and outdated, and we've seen it. It's just the same. We need a new. It needs to just be fresh.
And
Everything needs to be fresh.
it needs a world of color too, if you ask me. Just
And it needs a world of color,
to be
100%.
like a world of color with fireworks, where it feels grand. Like, oh my gosh, the nighttime spectacular Foggy Boogie is just the best. I want to say that.
I agree.
Because when Halloween was at Disneyland, you got the parade, you got the fireworks, Ghost Galaxy, Haunted Mansion Holiday, Cadaver Dance. Like, it just.
And you know what I want to see?
Character.
You know what I want to see is like the treat trails, yes. But everybody that's not in a treat trail that's still a villain should be wandering the streets, should be interacting with people. It should be like, did we just walk past Maleficent right there? Was she like legit Maleficent, or was she like someone dressed up? Like I feel like they need more villains there. They need people who are not in a treat trail to be walking around. The Evil Queen needs to be walking around. The Stepsisters need to be walking around. Maleficent, Captain Hook, the Queen of Hearts. All these people who don't have their own thing should still be there. There should still be a chance to meet them and see them and whatever, besides just the parade.
Yeah. You know what my mind goes to? I think it was throwback, the old version of Disney After Dark. Remember they did it at Disneyland where it was like
At Disneyland.
Was it Throwback Night or something or
Villains Night?
No. It was that Disneyland event that was like the old school Disneyland, man, and they had the characters just roam around, no photo ops at all.
Yeah, that's what it should be. It should just be like
what was that?
You're walking through.
Called? Anybody know? Anybody could remember? What I'm trying to say is, forget your photo ops. Have all the characters just interacting all day and having fun and being
just walking around,
being a villain. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Or you have multiple on the treat trail. As you're walking through a treat trail, there's another character that you're just like, well, we just walked by Maleficent when we grabbed our candy right there. We just walked by whoever when we were like, that's.
And that's how I always felt like with Judge Doom. It's kind of whack that Judge Doom is the only presence. It would have been cool if they had the Weasels, Roger Rabbit, Jessica Rabbit.
As you're walking up the treat trail, there should be all these characters on the side of you, interacting with you, and then you get to the villain and you get to the main person. I always said the same thing about Oogie Boogie too. Why aren't Jack and Sally on the other side of that room on a stage?
Makes no sense.
They should be. They should be on the other side of that room in the stage. It should just be the Nightmare Before Christmas area in there. Dude. It should be Oogie Boogie, Jack and Sally. Everybody should be in there. Lock, Stock, and Barrel, if you can get them to be in there, that'd be so cool.
How have we had like 5 years or so worth of Oogie Boogie and Lock, Stock, and Barrel, Jack and Sally, never been a meet and greet? Not one time. Not one time.
And can I just pitch this idea? Turtle Talk with Crush. Turtle Talk with Crush. At nighttime for Oogie Boogie Bash, you should be able to speak to the magic mirror. I think they should do that. Have the magic mirror on the screen, and you can ask it questions. You can interact with it. It can pull villains up in the thing. I think that would be so cool. A little show that can kind of pull you out from the crowds, draw you into a little thing, and you can interact with the mirror. You can talk to it. You can, like, whatever.
Animation Academy too should be like special drawings of villains too.
Yeah, I think it should be. I think that would be so cool. You draw the villain, and then the villain comes out on stage.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
That would be so cool.
And it could be the ones that they're just the roamers, like a
it could be. It could be whatever. It could be we draw Jack Skeleton, and here he comes out. To say hi to everybody. That's what it should be. I just. Man, I don't know.
Cool. That would be cool. Animation Academy with the character. Oh man, that's a great idea.
Could be cool. That could be cool.
I just want to ask this question: any character dining? Anything call your name at Disneyland? Because now they're doing the Halloween Goofy's Kitchen, some weird ass autumn fall storyteller.
None of that.
I've seen no coverage of the character dining. And I'm shocked because I feel like character dinings are kind of popular in the content world, but I don't know. This year, it's not. It's not.
Yeah. I feel like almost at every event, dining has fallen short. Like even Knott's, like people were hating on that breakfast buffet. It
Yeah.
just was not what people were expecting. It just, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know.
What do you think about the midnight breakfast thing from Scary Farm? I feel like it felt
I've seen,
very hard.
yeah, I've seen videos of it. I mean, it's a good deal. $25 for a all you can eat breakfast. Great deal. All right, cool. Sounds great. But then you get there and like there wasn't a lot of options. They didn't even have bacon. Like I was just they had like eggs, a potato, pancake, boysenberry sausage, and then big pieces of Mrs. Knott's chicken. Like, I mean, eat your chicken at 3 a.m., I guess. Like, you do
Yeah.
you. But I, yeah, I just, they should have done more. That breakfast buffet should have been more. They should have had a waffle. They should have had a, a, what's it called? A French toast option. An omelet station would have been cool. But yeah, for what they're offering, I mean, I guess if you're hungry, if you have a long ride home, whatever, could be a good deal. $25 is not bad, but
I I was thinking
yeah.
a better idea is they just have $20 to go home boxes because you know just as much as anybody, Noah, you've been haunting all day. You're hungry, dude, and it's 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Nothing is open that's worth trying. I think a to
Yeah.
go home breakfast box would be like awesome. Some delicious take home
Yeah.
breakfast. Dude, come on.
That's not a bad idea. Some eggs, a
Eggs,
pancake,
bacon,
bacon,
pancakes,
sausage, potato.
one
You're done.
drumstick, Miss Not Chicken Dinner. Pff, boom. Get, get your ass home.
And a little orange juice to go.
Yeah,
Take
have a good
it and
night.
leave. Take it and leave. Have a good night.
Uh,
Have a good night.
we got Kate Blair. She says, check your Twitter. Thank you for the super chat. I brought it up. Uh, I guess this is new track. Um, it's expanding. This is just crazy. Noah, how do you feel about a crazy ass roller coaster like this coming to Hollywood? Like, does this excite
So,
you?
Uh, kind of. I'll say I didn't see anything. Like I haven't been to Universal in probably a year since I went on opening night to Horror Nights. Like it's been that long. Like it's probably been since the last Horror Nights that I went. So I haven't been updated on any of this. I haven't been seeing any of this. But looking at it at Horror Nights, going like over you as you're going down the escalator, I'm like, oh no. Like I'm not gonna be caught dead on this thing. Like this
It's
is terrifying. It looks
it,
so scary.
yeah, it's gonna be nuts.
It looks so scary.
I think they would be smart to like start marketing it already. Like build up the hype. Just
I think so. They
let people
should.
know what it is. I always say, Noah, the Hollywood crowd ain't ready for this roller coaster because there's nothing like this in Hollywood. There's no thrill like this. Like this is literally another level of thrill that no one's experienced at Hollywood.
Yes.
It's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be nuts. But thank you, Kate Blair. Also, Master Joda dropping a super chat. Why is Dr. Facilier not at Tiana's Bayou? Hey, ask Disneyland that question. Oh man! As far as I've heard, Dr. Facilier is just not. It's not where the vision of Disney is currently, and the way he was displayed back in the day and how he is in the movie. Uh, they just have a different vision now, and that's the best way I could say it. But that's a question for Disney. Let that.
Yeah. Ask Disney.
let.
Ask Disney.
To finish everything off for tonight, Noah. What about Dark Harbor? What have you heard? Dark Harbor's our closer.
Dark Harbor. Honestly, I haven't heard much. From what I've heard, people liked it. But these are people who have never been to the event previously. So I don't know how it's gonna line up compared to events that they've previously done. I will say, I heard Dark Harbor was an absolute nightmare of crowds. That there were so many people there. And like maze lines, just like general admission, you were waiting like hours to
Hey,
get in a maze.
before you keep going,
Yeah,
they lost millions of dollars by doing Shacktoberfest all these years. It should have just
they
been
really did.
straight to Dark Harbor. Obviously, the demand and the people wanting to do something scary in this Long Beach area, it's there. It has
It
been.
is there.
It never went away. But for
Yeah.
whatever reason, Shacktoberfest, night and day difference. I saw TikTok. People couldn't even park. It was miserable just to park.
Yeah, they were parking people like preferred parking was in like a park down the street.
Ah!
Like that was preferred. That was preferred.
Ah! That's
Like
so
that
stupid.
that's how crazy busy it was.
Hey, you're going to Dark Harbor. Your best is just to show up hella early and just be there early. Instead, like I'd rather wait standing and hanging out with friends than an hour miserable to pay your $40 a park or whatever it is. Yeah, that parking
Mhm.
situation at Dark Harbor is just is dumb. I
It's
don't know how.
just brutal.
Yeah, it's
It's just
brutality.
brutal.
Um. Uh.
But I haven't heard much. I haven't heard much about it. I'm experiencing it on Sunday, hopefully with you, Mondo.
Yeah. No. But we'll be there. We'll be there.
Yeah, Sunday we're gonna
I.
experience that
I've been in my
and
mind. I thought
see
it
what's
was.
going down.
I thought it was last week's Friday, and then I thought it was this week's Friday, this week's Saturday. Come to find it's Sunday. It's all the wrong days. Um. I kept forgetting. Real quick, experience at Castle Dark. Castle Dark.
Loved it. Loved it. So we had so much fun there. Castle Dark is a good starting haunt. If you don't know, if you have maybe little ones, if you have someone at that age where they're like 13 and they're like itching to go to a haunt, but they're still kind of scared, this is like the perfect one to take them to. There are some good scares in there. The mazes are super cool. They have 3 mazes. Well, they technically have 4 mazes this year. They have 3 mazes that are included with your admission, and then 1 VR maze that you can purchase separately.
VR maze. What the hell?
They got like a VR maze over there.
Jeez.
But I will say, we had so much fun. The theme of these mazes is so cool. One of their mazes, you're literally like in a maze. You're like trying to find your way out of the maze. Like there's not one clear path. You get to a point and there's like 4 directions of like where you should go, and you're like, I don't even know where I'm going. And then you get the actors who are like, come with me, like I'll show you the exit, and they're just pulling you deeper and deeper into this maze. They have a clown maze in there. They had a seance maze, which was very, very cool. And then they have this, Mondo, they have this after party that is just wild. Wild. I was just like, this is a club. This is literally a club in here. Like we're going for it. All right. It's so cool. You're like dancing with the monsters. There's drinks. They have drinks now at Castle Dark.
Oh.
Yeah, and then all their rides are open, and
That event keeps growing.
it does. It does.
Wow.
I mean, they're amazing. They are amazing. I'm excited to see where they go in the future. But this year was so much fun. If you get a chance to go out there, do it. And I think right now on their website, tickets are like $20 or something like that. It's like not even anything crazy.
I would have said
And the front of the line was like $15 or something if you wanted to add that.
just do it.
It's just fun. It's just so much fun. It gives you something to do. There's rides. You can walk around. 3 mazes, 4 if you're going to pay for the VR one. There's scare zones, games if you want to play those. And then they have their shows. They have a slider show. Just a ton of fun. A ton of fun over there. There's lots to do.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
One more time, content coming. What to expect from Disneyland?
Yeah, content. We are gonna have a Not Scary Farm video and a Dark Harbor, Castle Dark video out this week. And then next weekend or into next week, we're going to have an LA Haunted Hayride video. We're going to have a Fear Farm video. We're going to have a Dark Harbor video. And then that next week's going to be even more. We're going to have so much stuff going on. But
Oogie Boogie.
Yeah, no Oogie Boogie. You're not getting the Oogie Boogie here. No Oogie Boogie here. Watch previous years. Oogie Boogie is the same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, but lots of content coming. Halloween stuff.
Hell yeah. Are you still Thursdays?
Every once in a while. It's gotten a lot less now because haunt season.
Yeah.
But I have some things lined up with a couple people.
All right.
But yeah. Lots of stuff coming.
All right. Well, thank you, Noah, so much. Check out Disnoaland on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Noah's everywhere. He's everywhere. Follow him.
Everywhere.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We should be finally back at a theme park tomorrow, finally. I'm ready to get back in the Halloween hunt. But thank you guys so much for your time hanging out with us tonight. Smash that like button. We are firing it down. Love y'all.